See, do you have a home studio? And do you record yourself at home? Oh, if yes, then I have 5 mistakes to share with you that you must have been making that is making your sound horrible or making your audio production really sound bad. So I'll be providing some solutions so as to make your next recording project a very successful one. Yes, my name is Owa Productions. I make it cool, I make it nice, I make it sweet. You already know. Take it away. See you on the other side. It feels good to be back. It is becoming common that artists are setting themselves up with their own in-home recording studio. They do this so that to avoid, the rush of, booking a studio session, and they have to rush into to get everything done within the allotted time they are given in the studio. However, this can be compared to, a professional recording process, working with a professional engineer, professional tools and equipment. Although this doesn't mean that you can't do your project in home and get good quality result as well, as long as you understand the mistakes which are often made by artists who uses home studio. Then you have the opportunity to make your next recording project a successful one if you follow the 5 mistakes I'm about to share, so as to avoid them whenever you are recording in your home studio. So let's go. Number one is understanding your DAW, the software that you use in your home recording studio. It's very important that you know the basic operations of the software, have a general knowledge of how to operate the software, for example, vocal arrangement, time-based effects, pitch correction, how to do all these basic things can save you a lot of stress. For example, you might be tempted to get a third-party plugin or VST without fully understanding the one that are existing in your software already. Let's say, for example, pitch correction. So you say a lot of people talk about AutoTune, Antares AutoTune, but Logic, I use Apple Logic, it comes with pitch correction itself, which my opinion, it has a more human feel to it compared to AutoTune. But you hear a lot of people say they use AutoTune, so you might be tempted to go and get that third-party plugin, so you think maybe probably help your production or your audio production, but however you have not fully understand what pitch correction can do for you if you have you have worked the plugin to its full capability and it's still not doing whatever that you want. That's when I believe I will advise you to go and get a third party plugin. So it's important for you to understand how your software work, how the operational operational guide to your software. This will make the recording process a easy one for you, and also you can get to know about the shortcut are are miracles for music producers and sound engineers. They are the thing that make the work easy for us. You understand? So you can go on their website or go online. I can as well share some of Logic Pro shortcuts, so as you can get to see them on my website. So this would help in your audio production process. So for number 1, it's important to try and get the full value of the software, the DAW that you are using right now, before going out to buy any additional plugin or any third-party software. So that's number 1. Let's move. Number 2 right now. Number 2 is fix it in the mix attitude. A lot of artists have this mentality that whatever they do in their home studio, it can be fixed by the mix engineer. I'm sure that a lot of mix engineer will be so happy that I'm mentioning this. So if you know about, programming language that says garbage in, garbage out, you cannot impute a garbage into a system and expect, to have a very nice material or very nice product out from the system. You don't record a bad take and expect the mix engineer to fix it later in the mix. However, it can fix it to some certain level, but it can never be compared to when the input recording or the take that he got from the artist is very, very good and is of quality. This would make the mixing process more easier and a very, very good production output as well. If you know the concept of, life in general, because this really applies to life in general. Like, you want to cook your food now, you cannot buy a rotten egg or a rotten meat, or you want to have a nice meal. You will not want to buy a rotten tomato and stuff like that. You understand? So same applies to the music production process, the audio recording process. You don't feed in any bad take and expect something good to come out of it at the end of the day. So you need to take note of this. Very, very important. When you find issues, coming up on a project that you are doing, it's very important that you locate the issue, where it's coming from, and rectify it immediately. If not, the whole project will suffer with this at the end of the day. So, for example, you have, a line, you're just having a buzzing sound in your recording. That sound, buzzing sound, it might be a cable, your recording cable, your mic cable, the XLR, you might be having, some issues, or it's not good enough. You understand? So it's very important, is either to change that cable at that time or find a way to fix it so that you can continue your recording process. Because if not, that buzzing sound, when the engineers start to saturate your voice, the mix and everything, all these elements will start coming out during the mix, which would make the whole general output of the song or the project not to be up to par. You understand what I'm saying? So make this a top priority when you are recording in your home studio. So let's go number 3 right now. Number 3. Yes, so number 3 is too many takes. As an artist, have you ever been in this kind of situation before, whereby you record, the first take and the second take, they were great, but you insisted that you could do better. So you ever start, having too many takes, and you are stuck at, for example, the 15th take, trying to perfect that same line. Have you ever been in that situation before? This is a major mistake that a lot of artists do get themselves into when recording at home. I'm a believer of, perfection, having things, of great quality, up to standard, and whatnot. However, it can be compared to a natural feel of your creativity. So the first 2 takes, or those first few attempts whereby you make on that particular line or sentence or phrase you are trying to get in your project, in your song, I believe that they have more of an emotional connection to it, more of a natural flow to it. Then when you start, trying to correct those mistakes, you'll be focused on correcting those things rather than having a natural feel to the music you are making. You understand? So I will advise that when you are in such situations, just go back to the first few attempts that you have made on that track, which are nice. Actually, most of the time, these guys are nice. You understand? So if there's only one word that is in that field, that line, you understand, just cut out the word and just replace it with the one that you're trying to, just correct it with a new thing, you understand, and just leave the few ones, or the first one that you have done, or one of the first few ones. Definitely one will be, good for you there. So that's number 3. Let's move to number 4. Number 4. Number 4 is overusing effect. This is a mistake, made by artists when recording in their home studio. They rely solely on, effects to make up for lack of clarity, warmth in their vocal, general overall quality of the audio. A rule of thumb is to record as clean as possible so as to avoid, pre-effects when recording. A rule of thumb is to record as clean as possible, avoiding pre-effect wherever that is possible. Then the only effects that you can apply is to just, have minor touch-ups or additional afterwards, after the recording has been done. A lot of projects have passed my decks here. I've worked with a lot of projects, and I've get to witness a lot of artists, putting too much effect in their vocal. When I strip the channel settings, when I strip up the vocal, I remove all the vocal, try to listen to it raw, I'll see I'll get to find out a lot of mistakes during the recording, which can be avoided. So that would put more work on me. So I have to now start treating the vocal itself before I start post-production, which could be avoided when recording. Because if you record as clean as possible, a mix engineer wouldn't get to, go through this torture. So I would advise that, music artists, when you're recording in your home studio, try and use as much less effect as possible. Only if you want to be creative, you understand? You want to, try some new things. But before that, make sure that you record as clean as possible. Before you start your recording, you can first test your mic, make sure everything is in place so that you can now, continue the recording process. So that's number 4. Number 4, do not overuse effects. Because we have, them for free in our computer. We have loads of them, so it's available at our disposal. So that doesn't mean that it applies to everything that we do. Before you pick out that EQ, your voice. What are you trying to do with it? Before you use the compressor, what are you trying to compress? Time-based effect like reverb or delay. What are you trying to achieve with it? You understand all these things. Before you put it on your voice, know why you are using it. You understand? That will help you get better recording your audio. Number 4. So let's move. Number 5, which is the final 5. Let's go. Yes. Number 5, final 5. Number 5 is not having backups of your work. If you have been listening to me since number 1, number 5 is the most dangerous mistake you can make as a music artist. Listen, come close. Number 5 is the most dangerous mistake you can make as a music artist. If you do not have backup of your work, it's very important that you back up your project. Maybe it's a vibe you are just creating, you're just vibing to a beat, maybe you are creating a draft of something or whatever that you are creating. Make sure that you have it saved on your computer and you have an external drive which you save your stuff, your project on. You can have a cloud storage like iCloud, Dropbox and all of that to save your works there, just in case if you do not have an external drive. But I'd advise you can get an external drive and still have your backup in the cloud storage. You understand? This is the most dangerous mistake you can make as a music artist. How would you feel if you wake up tomorrow and your hard drive is dead, gone, is not working again? How would you feel? Tell me. So this is very important that you do back up your works, your project, whatever it is, just back up. For example, me, I back up my backup. That means I have my main hard drive on the computer, I have a backup, and I have a backup of that external drive into another drive again. You understand? So you can do this periodically. And also it's important that you do check your backups, make sure the drives are in shape, they are working. Sometimes the drive might corrupt or whatnot, so just make sure maybe once in a month or something, plug the drive, make sure your works are saved, and make sure you keep your drive in a safe place as well. You understand? So make sure you back up your work. This can cost you your career as a music artist. I'm telling you, I know what I'm saying. It's something I've experienced personally myself. So number 5 is to back up all your projects on your computer and make sure they are safe so you don't lose any of your work. So there you go, the 5 mistakes to avoid when recording in your home studio as a music artist. I hope I've nailed it. I hope I've done justice to that. I hope it all makes sense, and most importantly, you guys to apply it whenever you are in your home recording space. At home, you are recording your project and all. So If you haven't subscribed to my channel, OR Productions, make sure you click the subscribe button, comment on this post, tell me what you have learned. If it makes sense, let me know. Whatever I have to improve, let me know. Click on the like, share. You understand, there is love in sharing. Share this video to your colleagues, your friends. It's a community, music artists, producers, we're in a community, so make sure you do share this video. I thank you so much. OR Productions, I'm always all about sharing love and giving love. That's what OR Production is all about. Thank you guys for staying with me. Love you. One love. You already know. Take it away. See you next time.